So I had this video sent to me several times. It was a Zenless Zone Zero video. This was the original title and thumbnail for this video. It was called I Owe Hoyo an Apology. But then this morning, I was really confused by this because this is now the title and thumbnail of that video. The hard truth about Zenless Zone Zero. Worth after 40 hours? Interesting. Subscribe! When we look into more about this video, there's something very interesting in the description, which I think makes the change of the title and thumbnail a lot more engaging and a lot more interesting for me to discuss. I do think business is spelled incorrectly. This is a video that I'm willing to guess comes from the same line of contracts that were being sent out for Zenless Zone Zero. I want to know how a video sounds after you've signed with the business of Yomiholic. And I also want to point out how this absolutely will affect the content that you watch on these games when these are the kind of contracts that they are putting out.
I, like many other people from 2020, am a former Genshin player. And like
a refugee, if you will.
Like most people, I got tired of the open world formula after so many games. Don't get me wrong, like I love Genshin's character designs and all that, but the open world formula has got me tired out.
This is already an interesting way to start off. I've never really heard anybody say that they didn't like the open world in Genshin, because to me, one of the main benefits of Genshin was sort of the Breath of the Wild, sort of Tears of the Kingdom landscape was really appealing. It was one of the reasons I think a lot of people started playing the game, but I don't know that most people would say that the primary criticism of the game is the open world. That is the point I want to make here.
I didn't care about ZZZ when it was first announced because I felt like I was gonna eventually just quit the game anyways, like all the other Hoyo games, until I got that rare invitation to join the closed beta.
So we have said that a primary issue with Genshin Impact and the reason that they didn't want to play was because of the open world. That's not a criticism of Genshin. Those are statements regarding personal preference, but those are not actual criticisms about Genshin or Honkai Star Rail. And I will also say that I find it very odd because if you look at this person's channel, they do not cover Hoyoverse games. Like, this is a Final Fantasy and Arknights content creator that gets pretty great views. Like, let's not pretend anything, right? This person gets fantastic views on a ton of these videos, but this video is one of his only videos really that cover any Hoyoverse, Genshin, any of that stuff for a long time. And so this is setting up the argument to be like, oh, well, those weren't my preference. Like, nothing's really wrong with them. It's just not my preference. But this game's amazing.
Off the bat, I knew this game was gonna be good because we have a skip button. Oh my gosh. Oddly enough, despite having the skip button,
oh my god, the skip button.
It had a weird reverse psychology effect on me. This time, I felt the urge to watch the story closely.
This is an interesting way of putting that, right? Oh my god, the skip button. But I didn't even need it. The story was just so good. And Genshin and Honkai Star Rail and Honkai Impact 3rd, man, I wanted that skip button so bad personally. But this time, I had the skip button and I didn't even need it because the story and the art were so good. Obviously that this is the craziest Zenless Zone Zero glazing I've ever heard in my life, especially for a game that realistically has gotten almost no hype and has been widely regarded as like the first really big Hoyo floppiana. And we are uber mega glazing the art, the story, the music.
There was no open world gameplay. It was like instance-based fighting. I don't know if that's the right word to describe it, but basically
And that was like the main problem with Genshin, guys, right? It's the open world that was the problem with Genshin, guys. Right! It was the open world. We fixed that. Zenless Zone Zero doesn't have that. We know how much you guys specifically hated the open world. That's what made you guys quit, right? Also, is Final Fantasy 14 an open world game? It's MMO. Huh. He's played open world games, but he also hates open world games. Something isn't adding up. Interesting.
In ZZZ, the game cuts down all of the moving around and you get straight to the point of things. To get materials to promote a unit or upgrade a skill, it's all done on the VR device in your own home.
Yes, his argument is that part of the reason that the open world was bad was because you had to, I guess, walk to places to get all of the stuff that you needed in Genshin, which is not really true.
Just love the dish out flashy and cool attacks, and the second a battle is done, it flashes this wipeout text on the screen.
Wow, the wipeout text. Holy! That wipeout text about to have me bustin'.
For our starting ones, the cunning hairs, we have Anby, the cool-headed robotic one, Nicole, the loudmouth sassy leader.
I'm still waiting for the hard truth, by the way. My assumption is that we've changed the title and the thumbnail to demonstrate the contents of the video better. Because before, I owe Hoyoverse an apology was the title. Now it's about the hard truth. So I'm assuming we've changed that title so that it fits the video better. I'm waiting for that hard truth. What is that? Because thus far, we've talked about how much we don't like open worlds and how Zenless Zone Zero doesn't have an open world, which makes it good. And also that we like the battle effects when you finish the battles.
And for those who hate Paimon, don't worry, we don't have that here in this game. For other characters,
Guys, Paimon's not in this game. We all know that you hated Genshin Impact because of the open world and because of Paimon.
Bang Boos, they're adorable little guys, they make funny little sounds, and they're friend-shaped, providing a little bit of assistance in battles as well.
So at this point, we're just sort of listing out in very positive terms things that are in the game. And none of this has been a hard truth thus far.
I am sorry, Hoyo. In the past, I felt like your games were not...
Interesting. I am sorry, Hoyo. That was the original title of the video. Why did we change it?
This isn't to say that both previous games are horrible. This is more of just saying that ZZZ aligns with my taste in games far more.
So they're not bad, and there's not really any real problems with them, and that's why I've never played them before really on my channel. I just don't personally like them in my personal opinion to my personal taste.
You can dodge attacks, but with a perfect dodge, you're able to strike back with a powerful counterattack. In fact, Nekomata excels at this kind of gameplay, so pull for her. Don't look down on her because she's a small cat girl. She's quite powerful indeed.
Don't look down on this character that a lot of people might not pull for. She's really good, I swear. She's so good. Still waiting for the hard truth. Let's look at the TVs. One of the biggest things that people critique about the game is this TV system, right?
First, I found this to be a drag to play as I just wanted to jump into the combat of the game, but slowly, it kind of grew on me.
It wasn't that fun at first, but if you just keep playing, guys. If you just keep playing, you're gonna love the TV grid system. If you just get 16 seasons in, One Piece is really good, guys.
It is better than running around a whole entire open world map, so...
Oh, God, well, I'll take the TV grid system. At least it's not a goddamn open world game, which I really hate when I really hate it, and that's why I play a lot of RuneScape.
Overall, it takes me about 2 minutes to do my daily, and I love that. And
yeah, I actually want to play the game even less. You know how in Genshin you get like 15 minutes of play a day, and in Honkai Star Rail, when there's not anything specific going on, you get like 5 to 10 minutes of play a day? I want less than that. I want to do all of my gameplay for the entire day during my morning piss.
Story with your A and B ranked characters and work with them, but getting some of the S ranked characters, which are very powerful with really great designs to them, can be rough.
This is the hardest of the truths thus far, is that in gacha games, the 5-star, the highest rated characters, the really nice characters that are typically on featured banners, are better than characters that are not. It is in fact a gacha game. We got it. Thank you, bestie.
Other beta testers, we all kind of agree getting the currency from polls as a free-to-play player was severely lacking.
No way. The gacha game doesn't want me to be free to play and wants me to have to suffer a bit to get free pulls.
And oh boy, I hope you're a big fan of artifacts from Genshin and Honkai Star Rail because that stuff still returns in this game. It seems
there's some form of artifacts or like relics in like basically every single gacha game. Not a real criticism. This is just stating facts about the trappings of a genre.
No more running to different areas of the game in order to be granted the drives you need. This significantly cuts down on time, and I'm grateful for that.
He's saying that the problem with getting artifacts before in Genshin was the open world again. That was not the problem with the artifacts in Genshin. This has thus far been intense glazing and yapping and just literally naming things that exist in this game and or / gacha games as a whole. There's not been a hard truth. There's not been a singular criticism. Framing criticisms as they are criticisms, but they're really just like facts with no actual personal opinion attached to them. So the concept of this video originally is I owe Hoyo an apology for thinking they don't make good games, because Zenless Zone Zero is such a good game because it's not like the other games that I didn't like because I don't like open world games and I don't like turn-based combat. The hard truth about Zenless Zone Zero is that this person is sponsored by Yomiholic. This is the kind of content that you will receive when these kind of contracts are in play about games. This puts words into the mouth of the community about what was wrong with the previous games. If you don't like open world games and you don't like turn-based combat, well, then do I have a game for you. It's Zenless Zone Zero, which is basically just Honkai Impact's combat, but it's different, I swear. It's way cooler. It's way cooler. This is the kind of stuff you can expect if you don't know that a video is underneath sponsorship or with a long-term partnership with a company like this. It stifles competition with other companies, because if this company, Yomiholic, that is working with Hoyoverse, is able to turn down sponsorships with someone like Wuthering Waves, that is stifling that competition, because that content creator, even if they can technically still cover the game, they just can't be sponsored. They're not going to put as much time and effort into playing that game because it does not make them money. This is our job. That means that those games are less competitive with Hoyo games, and Hoyo has no reason to change. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little investigation we've done here. I'm gonna go pull for Robin now, pre-register for Wuthering Waves. Maybe we have a bit more critical thinking skills about how things affect long-term overall. And you guys have a lovely night. Like, comment, subscribe. Goodbye!